My name's Chris.
And I'm Christy.
And this is the Washing Up Podcast. And it's finals week.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, finals week for however long Channel 10 decides to stretch this out.
Yes.
Who the hell knows? We've been trying to work out. You have to do an elimination a night. And even then, you're pushing it.
To get to Sunday and have the final on Sunday.
So, who knows, really?
Well, you could look up a TV guide and find out.
Why would I bother doing that?
We just want to live by the seat of our pants.
Exactly. We want mystery in this. And much like tonight, I opened up with a mystery box. See
nice linking there.
See what I did?
Segue.
See what I did there. And we're sort of, we're going to move towards the mystery box, and we're going to sort of move straight past all the stuff we talked about last episode with regards to social, because clearly no one's listening. So let's move on. Seriously, guys, it's a cooking competition. Get over yourselves. So, the mystery box.
Indeed. There was some Vietnamese mint.
There was indeed. There were pears.
There was oil.
There was... not just oil. Cobram estate oil.
Yes.
I could hear Matt walking through, doing his ad as he walks through.
Yes, I could hear
Matt from last year doing his big ad. Cobram estate. And George even went so far as to go, my favourite thing in this box, Cobram estate oil, not olive oil, Cobram estate.
Channel 10's gone, okay, guys, I know we've just used ingredients before, but now we need to talk them up for extra dosh. That Wagyu really set us back.
Exactly, that's kind of the problem. Fennel.
Fennel, indeed.
I found fennel quite interesting because there were a lot of people in the second cook who were talking about the fact they don't like that licorice aniseed sort of flavour, but at the same time, love fennel.
Yeah, but the thing is, the difference with fennel is it's got a different, it's not as dark in its flavour, and it's got like a nice crunch to it, and you know what I mean? Like it doesn't get stuck in your face like a licorice stick does.
We'll talk about a licorice stick getting stuck in your face later.
Okay.
That's weird. Wild rice was in there.
Yes.
Chestnuts were
Chestnuts exploding.
We'll come to that.
Harley's bench.
We'll come to that in a minute. And of course, because it's the week after we lose Eloise,
whiskey.
Johnny Walker Black Label.
Yes.
I mean, look, to be honest with you, and I'm sure that while she wouldn't want to besmirch any particular brand of whiskey, I'm quite sure that Eloise would probably tell you that Black Label's not necessarily the top end.
But when
this isn't 1980s. This isn't 1980s Australia anymore. We've met Yamazaki. Anyway.
Yes, but that said, you got to take what you can get when you're
Channel 10 and going to receivership. Yep. So that idea, by the way, that 1990s, early 2000s "Turn Me On 10" slogan, now more seems like a plea. Turn us on, please. Turn me on,
Lord.
please. We beg you, somebody, and then buy something.
Revenue.
Buy something from an advertiser. So let's start with. It was a bit of a nothing challenge.
No, I thought it was interesting because they had to use all 8 ingredients.
That was the good bit. I forgot about that. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, they were forced. 8
ingredients.
So it forced people to be really experimental when usually they might have just gone, look, I'm just going to, do fennel and whiskey.
I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to pour the whiskey in a glass and serve it.
Your option is ice or no ice. Neat or on the rocks. What would you prefer? So
neat or on the rocks is the serving suggestion.
So Carly starts off to a good start by going, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with this. None of this speaks Asian except the Vietnamese mint, and I can't pair that with anything that's here. So she's just going around, checking out the box, and talking to the judges, going, yeah, I got no idea. Let's just work on this.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Ben goes, I know, ice cream. So
Ben went ice cream, and I like the fact that Ben went ice cream. Now, we're going to talk about this in terms of there's been a lot of people bringing up the fact that, but this person's doing a lot of the same thing and this person's doing a lot of the same thing. Early in the competition, it can be a bit of a problem because it's not allowing growth. At the end of the competition, it's about how differently and how well you do something. For example, Tamara and dumplings,
yes,
she's done really well.
Yes.
Because the flavour in the dumplings, the thing is, if your flavour is good and if everything works...
And if you make dumplings that like a really good Japanese chef goes, those are good dumplings.
Yeah. Exactly. If you are doing, for example, dumplings like Tamara's done a few times, and the flavour is sensational, and you are making them with different ingredients and different things every week,
Yep.
you can do it as much as you want,
Yeah.
right? Because if you are meeting the brief, well, I mean, let's face it, that doesn't always matter, but if you are meeting the brief,
Yeah.
that's fine. Now,
yes.
Now, let me contrast this.
Okay.
Okay. Callan made the same granita over and over again. And the judges, after the first time he made the granita, told him to stop making the granita because it wasn't particularly helping the dish.
No.
And he kept making the granita.
Yes.
And so this is where I think the issue comes in with people saying about, why are you doing the same thing over and over again? I think if you do the same thing over and over again and it's not successful, that's not learning.
It's a Sisyphus task.
Exactly.
Really.
And the other thing we pointed out the other night was when we get to this phase of the competition, it is survive and advance.
Yeah, but you also need to be refining your skills
Yes.
as well. And no one wants to see a boring ass couple of weeks.
No.
This is the best of the best.
And that's the thing I don't think we're seeing. Like, again, people talk about Ben doing ice cream over and over again. I have no problem with it, and everyone knows that I'm not a big fan of people doing a lot of ice cream. But I have no problem with Ben doing a lot of ice cream because it's showing a refining of a skill, because it's a skill he's actually picked up on the show.
And it was only like 2 weeks ago that he picked it up in Japan week.
Like, it's something he's picked up on the show and run with.
Yeah.
Tamara's developed her dumplings to the point where they're highly complex. You've seen everyone, like, people who had done the same thing over and over again haven't, by and large, stayed doing the thing they did week one.
I think it's also when you look at that individual and you pop them into the different challenges that come up. If they're skilled, they won't flail. So tonight, it's not obviously a challenge that you wouldn't be able to really pull off a dumpling.
Yeah.
But Tamara's not flailing.
No.
Carly, however, is given a mystery box and she starts to struggle.
Yeah, and we did say the other day that one of the comments of the day about Carly going into this was she's been so flawless and so perfect and so methodical. There's usually a point where something chinks the armour and it's how you respond.
Exactly. So she's a worry for me, and I know you love Sarah and I love Sarah.
I'm worried.
But I'm worried. She has not hit her stride the past couple of weeks. She is floundered when desserts have come to the fore. And tonight her flavours just weren't hitting the mark. Like, licorice shouldn't throw you that much.
God, no, it shouldn't have. And we'll talk about the licorice part in a minute. But the thing is as well, if you're doing ice cream and there's absolutely no... Like, if you got steak tonight...
Yeah.
And you go, congratulations, I'm going to do a chuck beef ice cream. No. There's so much more you can do with it. Right, you got fennel, you got Johnny Walker Black, you got chestnuts, wild rice, olive oil, Vietnamese mint, pears, goat's cheese. It's not unreasonable to make an ice cream out of that.
No, and you could go sweet or savoury there. You could go an entree, you could go a main. You could. There's a lot of scope there. It's just not your... It's a box designed to challenge, but not, how can I put it, not result in something horrible.
No, exactly. And what I'd say is that it brings us to our flailing moment of this challenge. Carly decided to strafe the MasterChef kitchen. It was the Blitz for a moment there. The air raid sirens were going off. Everyone was ducking under benches and running away, might I add, is always a good idea.
PTSD is now, triggered.
Anyone who's like, I've been overdoing war-torn coverage for years. I'm coming back. I'm going to do a nice cooking show.
What's the worst that happened? Someone burns their souffle.
You weren't there, man. You weren't there.
And here goes Carly popping off.
And I love
her nuts went off in the...
Steve Liebman was in the background. He was both alert, but not alarmed.
She just had exploding nuts. And, usually when you see exploding nuts on screen, it's not in a cooking show.
Where exactly? No, let's move on. Carly, now, we'll go on to the tastings, because after Carly decided to blow the kitchen up, she suddenly went, I've got inspiration. I'm like, let me get this straight. You nearly killed everybody, and that inspired you.
Why not? It's fantastic. If exploding nuts is what it takes to get Carly into gear, exploding nuts is what it takes to get Carly into gear.
So Carly got tasted. I'm actually thinking that was possibly a thank you for not killing anybody.
Yes. Okay, Carly. Okay, just put the water chestnuts down and back away from
She did an olive oil ice cream with whiskey roasted pears and fennel. And I wasn't 100% sold on the idea of olive oil ice cream. And then the more I thought about it, about it, and especially with the whiskey roasted pears and fennel, it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
And she blitzed it.
Exactly, and that mint powder was a great idea. She had to incorporate it, and she found a beautiful little way to do that.
Yeah. Ben then did fennel ice cream with smashed wild rice shortbread, I think, alone was the thing that I adored.
Yeah.
Like, the ice cream, looked like a great idea. Again, the aniseedy nature of the ice cream, we'll talk about his second effort in a minute. But the first one, the aniseedy nature of that was really good.
Do you think Tamara turned around and said, "Don't ground rice, it never works"? Well, what are you're making it work?
Can I just have the recipe?
Yeah.
And then Tamara was the third one who got tasted. The ghost cheese semifreddo with brick pastry. Brick pastry this year.
Yeah.
It's gone great guns.
It's the sphere to the parfait. It's brick pastry and ice cream.
And once again, Channel 10 suggested she needed to sell the crackers.
Yeah.
Now
they're selling everything at the moment.
Well, that's where I was going with this. Do you think that Channel 10 sort of asked them to start getting these guys to box up like all the crackers and biscuits they're making so that Channel 10 can get out of receivership?
Yes,
because I'm sure that's what they're doing.
I also what I liked about Tamara's is when you saw that semifreddo go in, it looked so glossy and delicious.
Oh, it looked amazing.
Yeah.
And look, Tamara had her bump in the road.
Yeah.
She went home, she came back. She didn't look... Well, she didn't go home. She went back to the hotel. Then
she
came
walked
back.
out of the MasterChef kitchen and
walked back into the MasterChef kitchen. So what I would say there is she had about 3 weeks where she was all over the place.
Yeah, just, scrambling for... But she's come good.
But this is the point. Since then, and sort of Japan was the turn.
Yep.
She's just nailing it consistently again and again and again and again and again.
And who is this Aram guy that we've suddenly got in the kitchen?
Oh, and Aram! Yeah, again, the renaissance of Aram.
I know, he's you gotta slice your chestnuts. That's what I do at home. And he's the meat guy now, but he's found his passion. He knows what he's good at, and he's meeting it away. He's looking for cute meat. He's meat cute. He's looking for a meat cute.
Oh, thank you. All the script writers out there right now wetting themselves.
Yes, they're just going, oh, I get that. I write those.
I love the fact that it's like the idea there that we've got this really die-hard group of like screenwriters and producers
that obviously listen to our podcast for inspiration,
who have been looking for us to drop a reference all series.
Finally, you recognise
and they've been clinging to that hope, and suddenly they get a meet cute.
I know, they're like, there we are.
Although, having said that,
Aram's
stake in the second part of this challenge.
That's sauce.
I want Aram to come make steak. It's just forever.
With Gaston making ice cream. Now, I tweeted Gaston's wife or partner and asked her, how much ice cream have you been eating? Like, that would be awesome. You need to learn.
You need to,
You need a churner. Now I know what to get you for Christmas. Aha.
There you go. So, choose anything was Ben's reward for winning that challenge.
I did like the person on Twitter who suggested ice magic, and I said, if it was me, that would have been the choice.
I think it was really interesting that the idea of picking licorice.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the time, whenever they've had to pick something, I've thought to myself, pick something that screws people over.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one too, because it's polarising.
And licorice it's quite polarising, it turns out. Although apparently, did you know that Gary hates licorice? You wouldn't have known that from the fact that he was walking around eating the bloody stuff.
Yeah, but what I would be doing, right, is trying to eat it when I wasn't on camera to kind of get all the disgusting looks off my face about the licorice shit of it, side of things, so that I could eat the food without screwing my face up. Because that would give people the wrong idea, you know? Like, it's probably a beautiful dish, and you get the licorice and you're like, oh, this is a bit licorice-y. And it's not that the dish is horrible, it's just the licorice is horrible.
It's not horrible.
I know you like licorice.
Licorice is amazing.
Not a big fan. I really have to be in the mood for it, and that mood will strike, you know, like once every... I don't know, Saturn return. I
like the way that you're judging your love of licorice based on the return of Saturn.
Yeah.
The No Doubt album, or the actual return of Saturn.
The actual return of Saturn, which is about 30 years.
So it's about as old as No Doubt. Yeah. Moving on. So yeah, I knew there was a reason I like Ben. It's the picking of licorice. So Diana goes with a panna cotta, which seemed like a really good idea.
I thought it was going to work beautifully.
And I still, up until the tasting, I thought it had. And then when they scooped it out, I looked at it and went, it looks very rubbery. It looked rubbery on the spoon.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in a moment. Aram goes, what can I do with this? I know. Beef. And again, at this point in time, makes sense to me. Yep. Beef and licorice sauce with the smoked swede puree. The smoked swede puree, so the smoke. And then the savouriness with the licorice over the top of it. It's a good balance.
Yeah.
Tamara went with the licorice and strawberry sorbet with the roasted fat, which looked incredible.
It did, yeah.
Carly went with beetroot and licorice granita with goat's cheese.
Yes. And I like Tamara's thinking about it. She's like, I don't like licorice, so I'm going to pair it with a lot of things that I think will go with licorice that I actually like. And I think that was a smart move.
And I thought that Tamara, once she got past the idea of hating licorice, responded really well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing, is how do you respond to the situations you find yourself in? And unfortunately tonight, Sarah didn't respond too well. Yeah,
Sarah went, and again, she was going to do a mash originally.
Who the fuck? I'm sorry. Where's your brain, Sarah? Where is this genius that we've seen before? She needs to go do some meditation or something.
Yeah, she's gone way out the other way at the moment. I'm terrified for Sarah.
It's like
I get the feeling, as much as I love Sarah, I get the feeling tomorrow night might be it.
Oh, I really hope not. I hope something clicks overnight for her.
I don't know.
I know this isn't live, but I mean, between the two tapings, I hope something clicked for her. And she just got her old genius back.
And I won't lie, I was worried about Gaston's. And I was worried because of the Sambuca. Because he said it when he was doing it. The more alcohol you add, the longer something takes to freeze.
But the thing is as well, when you heard him talk about the whole dish, he said, I'm happy with everything else on the dish except the Sambuca ice cream. It didn't work.
Well, he didn't say it didn't work. He said it didn't set.
It didn't set.
And that was the problem that he had with it.
But he was happy with the flavours. And that's what you didn't hear. And the judges reflected that too. They were happy with the flavours.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
It was just the execution of one element. Now, there was people on social media going, oh, what did Ben get through? It's like, sit the fuck down. Okay? You know, Gaston put up one bad ice cream out of two, which is, half and half, but his whole dish tasted good. And if we try and see the consistency in the judges, they do say flavour is key.
If you try to see the consistency in the judges, good for you.
Yes, you will go insane. But I did think Diana's panna cotta was,
I think,
the main threat.
We'll break it down in a minute because we'll go quickly through what happened in the cook, and then we'll come back down to the judging at the end. Because I think there's a really good, easy way to break this down.
Okay.
Now, George brought up the Wheel of Panna Cotta set very early on. He looked at the gelatin and went, you've used how much of that? I'm not sure. And I think George was worried about would it set, but it turns out the problem was it set too much.
Yeah.
And the consistency wasn't quite there. Carly had a minor issue in that she put a licorice paint on the plate.
A schmear.
No, they called it licorice paint. They didn't call it a schmear.
Like a schmear.
Because if it was a schmear, oh boy. Aram decided that he wasn't doing an Aram enough dish, so he had a Brussels sprout.
Yes. What else would my parents enjoy? That's how he seems to, I think that's so cute.
I like the fact that he judges everything by what else would my parents like.
I hope our children takes inspiration from Aram when we finally have them.
I like the idea behind that because that could be quite good.
Yeah.
I'll get a whole pile of really cool stuff.
I know. I will get ice cream. It's great.
You will.
It works well for us.
Ben said it didn't set. It probably my argument was that what he actually should have done was just put it in a glass and call it a chiller. It's a refresher with the crumb on top of it, like in a glass, and it's a chiller.
I think it was very daring to try and make Sambuca set. I mean, theoretically, burning off the alcohol, that would work, but...
I think, for me, we'll get into the judging now. Now, we'll start off with the easy ones. Aram's was delicious, and I really want you all in your life to find someone who looks at you the way that Gaston looked at Aram. He gave the shrug of his shoulders, a smirk, and a little bit of a wink and a nod to Aram as he walked back to the bench, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Sarah's sauce was too thick. It didn't look particularly pleasant. Gary opened with, I don't love it.
No.
It's never a good sign.
It looked pretty-ish, but it didn't look tasty.
Now, Diana, the issue was the texture of the panna cotta. The problem is you're doing something which is all texture. Panna cotta is texture.
Yeah.
If you get an ice cream that doesn't quite set, if the flavour's still there, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
If you do a panna cotta that sets roughly and the texture's not there...
And the panna cotta was the majority of her dish.
Yeah.
There was a crumb on top.
Yeah. And the other thing with Gaston... the
dish looked pretty.
That was the thing. It was the way that he put it together.
Yeah.
He actually managed to make that ice cream not setting look like it was part of the dish.
And the salted licorice looked just glossy and
it was
gorgeous.
close. Look, it was a really close run thing. I think Diana and Gaston were sort of like a coin flip. And I liked the fact, by the way, that you didn't give me my shot at the start of the show, but you gave me a Vespa shot to ease the tension.
Yeah, he's like, where's the Vespa? It's like you walk in and Poochie's not there.
I went off my head.
And everyone's in the...
Where's Poochie? Where's Poochie? So, the bottom three ended up being Carly, Sarah, and Diana. I think that sets for a really interesting challenge.
Because all three of them could power through tomorrow night. Because Sarah is resilient and persistent and is a fucking machine. Diana's execution is usually spot on. Like, we've seen her. What did she do last week? Perfectly.
Oh, like we said,
nest.
We didn't have to talk about her like in that in that elimination challenge because we're just like we don't have to mention her because she's perfect.
Exactly. But Carly, I'm a little worried, only because she seems to get a bit flustered at first.
I think,
and then comes good.
For me, the thing with Carly, I mean, I'm terrified for Sarah,
but it is a dessert.
I'm terrified for Sarah, and it is a dessert, and that could be a worry. Carly, I think the problem for Carly that she faces is a bit of a knock to the confidence. She's never had to do this. She's never had to do this before.
Has Sarah been in one of these technical ones?
Yep. I'm sure Sarah's been in a technical. Early on she was.
Mm-hmm.
Carly's never done one.
Yeah.
So Carly's never been under this pressure.
And it can come back to bite you at this stage.
Whereas think about someone like an Aram who rode like 4 of the damn things.
I know,
at one point early on it was Aram and it was Aram, it was Poit, and it was Ray.
That's right.
And it was always at least 2 of those, Aram, Ray and Pete, in these challenges. And I think it's for Aram. It's helped Aram because nothing flutters Aram anymore.
No, and I think he actually learnt quite a lot of it, and it showed. It showed in the past week when he's just kind of, who the fuck is this dude? He's like on fire.
Now, we need to finish on
fire.
Apart from the song, go out on a song is always a great bit of comedy advice.
No, slam poetry.
But we need to finish on slam poetry night.
Yeah.
Word
to your mother.
Word.
I can't believe I'm actually meeting Millhouse.
Sorry. Word. No, I may be giving an education presentation tomorrow, which is all Simpsons quotes and clips. I'm not kidding. I am actually.
Teachers.
It's
not
to
just
teachers.
Students. It's to teachers.
Yeah,
who'll actually get the references.
I'm talking to teachers about The Simpsons. Not what the thing's about, but that's how I'm doing it. So we have another poem.
Mm-hmm.
It's from a wonderful student, again called Eloise.
Age 9.
Now, Eloise, for those who missed the last episode, Eloise put a poem out on Twitter, and I said to her, "This is a great idea. We're going to read it out." And then she said something. She said something to me about, "Well, set me a challenge. Give me a topic."
And I told Chris to say ice cream.
So
he did.
I said make us a poem about ice cream. So she put this out. You may have seen it on Twitter. Let's do this, shall we?
You do it.
The title is Just Stop with the Parfaits. We've seen dome moulds and parfaits inspire many a meme. We've had steak, quail and pigeon, fish cooked over steam. But what is the dish of 2017? Why it must be all manner of crumb and ice cream? You see, we always follow the fashionable trend. While some rules are adhered to, others sometimes will bend. But the fact of the matter remains to the end that on well-churned ice cream you can always depend. Blue cheese, basil, matcha, coriander as well. Some are flavours you'd think came directly from hell. But what George, Matt and Gary will certainly yell is you're saved by the ice cream and not by the bell. So officially now everyone will proclaim it the year of the ice cream, and many lay blame. But history says next year will be the same. The one only difference? The new hero's name. Oh, bravo. Bravo, bravo.
Beautiful.
It's an artistic form. It's got style. It's got grace.
It'll punch you in the face, Diana Prince. Oh, sorry. Diana Prince.
No, it's been nice to see that. And you know, I think it's really good to remember things like that as well. Help you remember the fact that these are people cooking.
Yeah.
And they're cooking because they love cooking. And it's a show, and this has always been our point on the joy of cooking shows. And it's one of the reasons I don't watch, MKR, is I think the joy of cooking shows comes in people getting in the kitchen and doing something they love doing.
Yeah. And I think it's beautiful to watch people, just get up there and express their passions. And, our culture in Australia really is, the tall poppy syndrome where we cut people down. And I think it can get a bit carried away. I mean, went through Tara Moss's Cyber Hate documentary on ABC tonight. And apart from the repeating of, the introduction at the beginning and the end of the short documentary, it was really quite interesting. And we've all done it at some point where we've used the anonymity of the internet to express, to do things that we wouldn't do face to face with someone. And, I'm not to blame. I mean, I'm not to blame. I said, I'm not, I'm not blameless in this. I've done it. I know you've done it. And I think we can change. I think we can evolve. And I think we can be more positive and create better interactions online. And remember that, not only are there people like us tweeting it, but there are people on the other end actually receiving it.
And my thing as well, and this is sort of where I think we need to leave it off, but what I'd say to everyone is you're in finals week of MasterChef. You've got the 6 best in the competition left.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I've already said from day one, I'd love to see Sarah win it, and obviously I'd love to see Gaston win it. But out of the 6, any of them who win it legitimately deserves it. If you get to this point of the competition, it's not favouritism getting you through to this point of the competition. It's not anything to do with the judges like you but not you, because you can't get carried this far in the competition
and not have had
on the basis of you don't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
So my advice to everybody out there for the start of finals week is it's finals week. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
They're going to be making some amazing stuff coming up.
I mean, this time next week, what will we be doing?
Well, we'll be planning Bake Off and
Survivor. But honestly, basically 5 nights a week we've been, giving our lives to MasterChef.
There's been this online family, and the online family is getting to the point at the end where it's getting a little bit tense and a little bit terse. And just remember what we're all here for: cooking and a shared hatred of George Columbaris.
Exactly.
All right. And on that, I think we might need to leave it here. So my name's Chris.
I'm Christy.
And we'll catch you all later.
Ciao.